Welcome to the Dome in Bluefield, Virginia for tonight's men's volleyball matchup. The Bluefield College Rams take on the Brewton-Parker College Barons here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Hello, everybody. Bailey Engel, Victoria Chapman. Glad to have you with us across the Rams Digital Sports Network. And Victoria, you look at the last 4 games for Bluefield. They've won 3 of those last 4, and it's a really rare time in this program's history where the wins are starting to rack up.
Well, we definitely have a couple standout athletes that are definitely making a great impact on this team. We have sophomore Alberto Ciparini, and he's averaging about 3.3 kills per set. And this might be due to the fact that he's just having a great connection with our setter, Chaz Frankie.
Yeah, Chaz Frankie, one of the older players, the setter commanding that attack for Bluefield, headed by first-year head coach Ray Vance, going up against a first-year program in Brewton-Parker, where Bluefield has actually beaten them already twice this season, dating back to February 3rd, as well as a week later on February 10th. That last time that they played against the Barons, Bluefield was led by Chris Dixon, who had 4 aces in that matchup. So the Rams will get the ball to start out, and now Lucas Leder, the freshman from Brazil, ready to serve for the Rams. Oh, a swing tipped over that time by Robbie Lever.
Set to the outside. He has just a little bump over Ciparini.
There's Lever. Tipped over, and the block won't work. That time it'll be a kill for Angel Mercado. So 1-0 start. Good job for Brewton-Parker, and the block just wasn't there for Bluefield. That was Andre Fury that jumped up, the native of Bluefield, West Virginia, or rather Virginia.
And that pass was just a little bit too close to the net, and Brewton-Parker wasn't able to get a handle of it this.
So really, the last time that we saw Bluefield play, that was against Milligan College. The Rams had to take them to 5 sets. Interestingly enough, that was the only time this year where either in a win or a loss that Bluefield College had gone to more than 3 sets as Mazza sends it over the net. That was a pretty long match, Tori, where Bluefield had to fight against the Buffaloes.
Yes, that's something Bluefield College hasn't been able to face yet, pushing through exhaustion. And guess what? It turned out in their favor, and they came out with that win.
Speaking of pushing through, Lasharo Clark sailed one right down the line, and Bluefield leads 2-1. Oh, Alberto Ciparini to serve for Bluefield. Started out this year as a manager for the men's basketball team as he sends a nice serve over.
Definitely making an impact on the college campus early in his semester.
Mazza with an off-balance swing. Almost had it, but a point will go for the Barons.
One step backwards, and Matt Mazza would definitely be able to get that over.
It's now a serve for the California native Mercado. Service error, Bluefield gets a point.
Chris Dixon is back in for middle in the front row.
Oh, Dixon checking in, the junior from Newport News, Virginia.
He's one that's definitely made an impact on our Bluefield College team recently in these past few games. And there was a hard kill in the back row.
Oh, Bluefield couldn't calibrate it that time. Another point going for the Barons. Another reminder that Bluefield has faced this Barons team twice this year, and the Rams were able to win convincingly in 2 sets, or in 3 sets each time. Leder with a set. Dixon looked like he didn't get everything he wanted on it, but still good enough for a Bluefield kill.
Yes, that pass was a little tight, but Dixon did what he was able to do to get it over.
Well, Mazza out of the game, and now checking in as the server for Bluefield, Rico Yanez, also a member of the soccer team here at Bluefield. Yanez with a soft swing, nails the ball over, and just with that little tip, it'll be an ace for the Rams.
What a trick serve he has.
Now 5-3 Rams. Coming into this game, Bluefield with a decent volleyball record if you think about it from the past, where they only won 1 set last year. They've already racked up 4 wins this year, coming in at 4-6. Lasharo Clark with a hard smack. Yanez Leder beats Dixon with a left hand.
And straight into the net.
Well, now That was just an error that time from Jonathan Russell. Normally on the roster as 16, but now wearing the number 9 shirt today, the freshman from Warner Robins, Georgia. Home of a very successful Little League team in the mid-2000s. Oh, another point going for Brewton-Parker. Rather, going to award it back to Bluefield. Pretty confusing exchange right there. The officials had to talk it over, and now the first-year head coach for Brewton-Parker, Jonathan Rose, having a few words with the official Doug Mabry.
Ricardo Yanez is still in the back row, serving it up, trying to keep the point in our favor.
So 7-3 Rams. Another chance for Yanez. Not a lot of velocity on those serves, just floated the ball right over. Leder. Back to Clark, and he's blocked. Great job that time by Waddell for the Barons.
That was a hard hit by Lasharo Clark, but he just has to remember to aim for the upper part of the hand so it can roll right over instead of hitting directly into the block.
Another service error, make that 2 for the Barons. Bluefield able to capitalize early, and that's something you can kind of expect out of a first-year program with a lot of first-year college players. It's going to be their fair share of errors from both sides of the net. And like we said, Lasharo Clark sailed it a little too long. Another service error in this one makes it 8-5.
Brewton-Parker actually looks a lot like our past teams last year with Bluefield, you know, working on chemistry, working with what they got. Not a lot of power, but it has definitely been a journey for them. We can see that they are struggling, and hopefully that us Rams can still overcome them this game.
You know, you can definitely understand, though, that the chemistry still is building for Bluefield College. I mean, Ray Vance coming in, this is his first year as the head coach of the Rams. And this team finally finding some pizzazz for the past 3 of their last 4 games. Leder just tipped the ball over and couldn't be answered by Jorge Lumpiata. Make it 10-5. And back to Dixon. Lumpiata. I don't think I've ever seen that before, where he had his hands closed and just tried to punch the ball over. Did not work out. Bluefield with a point. 11-5 they lead as we take a break here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Chris Dixon already has 2 kills for Bluefield. As he serves right out of the break, they lead 11-5.
His jump start is pretty powerful, hitting straight in the back row.
What a charge surged in by Chipperini. Bluefield with another point.
Chipperini is just one of those reliable players that no matter which setter is in, they give it to him, and they're pretty confident that he's going to outcome with a kill.
Now Ray Vance, coming out of the Richmond volleyball scene, probably didn't know as much of what he was getting into when he got to Bluefield, but Chipperini, like you said, as he drills another point home, one of the more reliable players in the conference for Bluefield, now leading 13-5.
When in doubt, set it to Chipperini. Like I said, Dixon has those powerful serves, but this time it was just a little bit too much, and it sails right out of the court. Marshall Diaz in the back row serving it up. And that's straight into the net. Rams back with the ball.
Another point for the Rams at 14-6.
Once again, an outside hit by Chipperini. Bumped right over back on the Ram side. Set by Leder. And another kill for Chipperini.
Oh, Chipperini smoking it here, 15-6. Rams leading by 9.
And that was a one-handed set to the outside.
Big kill that time from Robbie Lever. He's in back within 15-7.
Robbie Lever is leading Brewton-Parker with 2 kills currently.
Rams lead by 8. A bump up from Cardamone. Chipperini with a chance. Does it stay in? And just goes over the boundary, 16-7.
That one could have really went both ways there.
Well, pretty close, and got to think at some of the higher levels of volleyball, they might have brought out some instant replay for that point. Lieber with another chance, just dunked it over.
Marshall Diaz with another kill.
Another service error for the Barons. Make that 3 already in the first set.
Arion Leary, number 4 in the back row. Float serve over, short.
Well, the float serve's already working for Bluefield. Rico Yanez has done it, now Arion Leary.
Straight back over with the hit.
Another point for the Rams. Already commanding here, leading 18-8. And if you look back at those 3 sets that Bluefield dominated in going back to the beginning of the month, well, Brewton-Parker rarely got over 10 kills.
This is one of the biggest leads that you will probably see Bluefield Rams have this season. And they're definitely trying to take advantage of the opportunity to score big this game.
Playing a first-year program, the Rams also really in their infancy as a program here in the 2 Virginias, and then Ray Vance trying to rebuild it.
Ray Vance has been doing a great job, though, really, mixing around the players and seeing what really works best for our Rams.
Well, Lever trying to get the ball over once again and failing. Dixon slammed it down. Another point for Bluefield right off the head of the middle blocker, Mercado. Rather, the setter just got in the mix that time. 28 Rams on top.
Arion Leary continues to serve, but that one just wasn't good enough, and it just hits the top of the net. Their kill leader, Robbie Lever, is now in the back row serving.
Out of bounds again, a point for BPC. So the Barons trying to capitalize on these rare mishaps for Bluefield here in this first set.
Bump set by Matt Mazza.
Lever.
One-handed hit.
Mazza keeps it back in bounds. Dixon floats the ball over.
Talk about great hustle.
Dixon to the back row.
Out to the outside.
Chance for Clark. Sends the ball over. Just that rally couldn't end right for the Rams. And now Brewton-Parker back within 9.
Nice up by Lashar Clark.
Great block by Dixon. All alone in the middle of the net. And Lever with that charge couldn't send the ball into Bluefield territory. So Bluefield now within 4 of a commanding set 1 win.
Chris Dixon really making his statement here tonight at the Dome.
Here's Yanez.
High serve to the corner of the court.
Clark off the block, and it goes the way of Brewton College, or Brewton-Parker. Rather, the block Wasn't even needed. The ball hit the post and went out of bounds. So now 21-12. Now serve coming up for Jonathan Russell.
One-handed pass by Chipperini.
Chipperini feeding Clark on the other end.
That time Dixon was actually blocked straight back.
Spike turns into the finesse move from Lasharo Clark.
Lasharo Clark definitely found the hole between the hands and just placed it in the great location that aided them in another point.
22-12, a 10-point lead for the Rams. Ariane Leary within 3 of giving Bluefield their first set victory, and then did not have the rotation right, so now it'll be Clark's turn to serve.
Another powerful serve for Clark. That one looks pretty close, but it's going out in favor of the referee.
So second service error for Bluefield.
These service errors really add up in a course of a game, and it's really important to keep all of your serves in.
Waddell couldn't do it that time for Brewton-Parker, 23-13.
Chris Dixon back in the back row, serving it up with the jump serve. That was a back row hit and off the chest of Ricardo.
Chest of Yanez, yeah. And Furry couldn't keep it up.
Marshall Diaz, number 13, outside hitter, back in the back row, serving it up.
Back in the middle from Ledur, off the light, and Fury was camped out under it, and then after it hit that light hanging from the dome, it just sent the ball in a different trajectory, so now it is 23-15. Another serve for Diaz.
Pretty deep, but good up by Andre Cardamone.
Fury nowhere close and came off unbalanced, almost rolled his ankle.
Diaz doing what he can to keep the ball in their favor.
Fury, or rather that's Chipperini attacking Lumpianta, and the libero couldn't come up with a dig, so now Bluefield serving for set point. Another service error for the Rams. Really, that's what's been keeping Brewton-Parker so close in this one, or rather, they're just within 7 points, but still, it could be even more of a domination if the Rams were able to calibrate those serves.
Set to the outside, Matt Mazza with the hit, and what a kill.
Mazza finishes it off, and Bluefield wins set one, 25-17. Moving into set number 2, Rams looking good here at the Dome.
Coaching at state for volleyball, I should take that as a yes. would have gotten that. Joshua Queen in the back row serving now. Easy pass for Cardamone.
Frankie back to Mazza. What a play there. Frankie on the back set. Now substitution, Leary coming back in for the Rams.
Leary is another libero for tonight. That's something that you usually don't see. 2 liberos on a court, but Andre and Arion seem to be splitting up the playing time tonight. Just like that, Andre Cardamone is back in the game.
Cardamone right back in. Bluefield leading 12-10. Another chance for Mercado.
Perfect set to Chaz.
Lasharo Clark winding it up, and he has shown his power in this game. It's been pretty tough for Brewton-Parker College to answer on those outside hitters, Clark and Ciparini. Substitution brings Yanez back into the game.
Yanez will continue to keep the game in our favor. Very off pass by Diaz. Leads to a one-handed hit by Walden that just wasn't good enough.
14-10.
Yanez with his second serve in the back.
Yanez again, not a lot of power, just floats the ball over.
Very short, but sometimes those short serves can be very tricky.
And Aaron Waddell, once again, just a little too much.
You can just see the frustration on the Barons right now.
Yanez again, 15-10.
Another serve in the same spot, and the Barons just weren't able to get it up.
And all of them were there. And now a timeout called by Jonathan Rose. Bluefield leads 16-10, already up 1-0 in sets here at the Dome. Bluefield still in command here, leading 16-10. Rico Yanez floats the ball over.
Changing that serve, a lot different than the previous serves we've been seeing.
What a block for Bluefield, and a whistle blows. Rams with another point.
And that was a lift for Brewton-Parker. Set to the right side. He tries to tip it over, but that was out.
Well, Bluefield up by 8. And you can tell that Robbie Lever for Brewton-Parker is a guy that has a lot of power and a lot of raw athleticism, but just maybe not a calibrated volleyball player. His time is called for Mercado to tie his shoes up.
Set to the outside. A little too much power.
Yeah, that time, that was Jonathan Russell. You can tell the communication is there between setter and outside hitter, but the Barons just have no one to keep it in bounds. 19-10. Another service error.
That was a good streak for Yanez, though, keeping about 5-6 balls inside the court. That's something that we usually don't see at these college games.
No. Here's Lever jumping into his serve. Clark had to lunge for it.
Back row pipe hit.
Bumped up. Chance for Waddell, and he just mistimed it. Tipped it right into that netted area again.
He had absolutely no approach there, but didn't give him any power to hit that ball over and keep it in.
Ray Vance still talking it over with his team. He wants to have a switch of his liberos here. Arion Leary back in, Cardamone off.
They've just been going back and forth between the liberos this evening, trying to change it up, see what will be best for the whole duration of this game.
We have seen Clark's service errors, now a service ace right off the hands of the back line there. Bluefield up by 10, 21-11. Starting to unravel here for Brewton-Parker. Rams trying to go for their clean sweep of the Barons this year.
Another one in for Clark.
Tipped in the air.
Bump set by Arion Leary, straight down by Alberto.
Chipperini just jumping up and drilling a hole in the floor. 22-11. Rams have commanded their way into this 11-point lead.
His athleticism is really uncomparable with anyone that we see tonight playing.
There's Clark. And just out of bounds again. Another service error for the Pittsburgh native. Got a quick update that looked like the Bluefield College men's basketball team won their game against Bryan College in the AAC tournament 62-58. As Chipperini sends one right into the floor again.
You can see that no one really even moved on Brewton-Parker's side. There's just nothing that they can do in that circumstance. When Alberto has the ball, it can be pretty intimidating for whoever's on the opposite side of the court.
Oh, Fury into the game. Here's Chris Dixon.
Great serve to the corner.
Ton of velocity there for the server, and Bluefield has a chance for set point.
Chris Dixon is one of their better, more consistent servers.
Almost another ace.
Like a bullet that's being sent over, and Brewton-Parker just doesn't know what to do with it.
25-12 Bluefield making a statement in set two after winning set one 25-17. They cruise to a set two victory, going for the sweep when we come back on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Bluefield leads this one 2-0 over the Brewton-Parker College Barons here at the Dome. Bailey Engel and Victoria Chapman leading the way for Bluefield. As expected, Victoria Ciparini with 7 kills. He's really been the star today for the Rams.
This is not really surprising. We know coming into this that he is averaging 3.3 kills per set, and he's just that athlete that Chaz Frankie is just looking for to set every single opportunity that he gets, because they know each time that more than likely he will get a kill in our favor.
Yeah, Chris Dixon already with 6 kills as well. Those aces starting to pile up for the outside hitter for Bluefield. And then on the other end, Robbie Lever has racked up 7 kills. Well, the main athletes for the Barons just about ready to get started. Bluefield trying to make it a perfect 3-0 against Brewton-Parker, and they have not surrendered a set to the Barons so far this year. They played them on February 3rd as well as February 10th. And beat the Barons both times in 3 straight sets. Just about ready to get started with set number 3 with Chaz Frankie. What a serve, targeting that libero Lumpianta. And an error from Joshua Queen. So Bluefield on top 1-0. And it looks like the Rams, Victoria, are getting the Barons to play out of system.
This is probably their goal, actually, to get them all messed up and have them kind of confused so they don't really know where to move next.
And Frankie thought he had an ace that time, and the ball just sailed inches to the left of the line. So now it is 1-1. Bluefield was confident setting up that they had gotten that ace, so now all tied up at 1.
You never know until the referee makes that final call.
Chance for Diaz. Set. Spike. No, just rolled over.
Ciparini's.
Back in the air. Frankie for Dixon. Point Bluefield.
Chris Dixon not in his usual spot, hitting from the outside, but that doesn't stop him from gaining just another kill. And that makes a whole 6 kills for him, Dixon?
7 kills. So now
7 kills.
He is up there with Alberto Ciparini. And Ciparini adds another with that ace. Almost another one. Lever kept it alive.
With just one hand, Lever keeps that in.
Ciparini slipped on the back line. Dixon blocked. And that was a charge by Dixon, but that time Queen and Lever able there to house that attempt.
But that hit was just directly in the hands of the Barons, and that ball wasn't going anywhere except for directly down.
Bluefield won set 1, 25-17, and then in set 2, the Rams galloped out to a 25-12 lead.
And that ball just sails right out, and we have the ball back in our favor.
So Brewton-Parker still trying to find any chances to keep this one close. Andre Cardamone will go back to serve for Bluefield. Junior from Wasco, California. Cardamone. Ciparini.
Back row hit.
And Diaz back towards the net. Mercado can't keep it alive, and the Rams once again 5-2. The Rams will play in 2 more days on Saturday against Campbellsville at home. We'll not have a broadcast with that one because of Bluefield's baseball game that day. Here's Dixon. Lever punches over. One of the better rallies we've seen so far. Back to Lever. Blocked. Lands in. Point Bluefield. That was so
teams.
Close.
Very nice by Mazza and Dixon.
Well, Mazza and Dixon able to keep that one in bounds, and Bluefield jumps out to his 6-2 lead.
Nice serve by Andre Cardamone. Sails the ball to the opposite side of the dome.
Another ace for Bluefield, and that one almost clonked off for the scoreboard. And Diaz couldn't keep it alive, and the frustration starting to build up in the face of Waddell. 7-2. Make it another race. Brewton-Parker is just struggling to keep the ball alive.
Those type of shanks, though, aren't what we should be seeing by a libero. And this is something that we should just pass and get to the setter, and the Barons aren't doing that.
And a double hit on that set that time. Mercado basically caught the ball. Let's make that 3 possessions in a row. Another point for Bluefield. They are just rolling here.
And another shank, but that one by Marshall Diaz, number 13.
Timeout called. Rams leading by 8 here in set 3, trying to wrap it up against the Barons. All smiles for Rams fans here at the Dome. They lead 10-2, 2-0 going into set number 3. Bailey Engel and Victoria Chapman. Happy to have you here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Andre Cardamone has rallied it up for Bluefield, and the Barons have just struggled to get the ball across the net. That time they do. Set from Frankie. Leary actually took off the libero jersey, and now he's in with Cardamone.
He's playing front rows and outside, and that's something we don't usually see, especially with his height. Not one of the biggest players, but he definitely has the height, and he has the strength while hitting the ball.
So finally for Brewton-Parker, they get their 3rd point. Rams winning set 1, 25-17, set 2, 25-12, and now they lead in this one 11-3 after Dixon sends one over.
Dixon continues to make a statement here tonight.
So it really has been the Dixon and Chipperini show.
Definitely has.
Lever with a hard slam over, and if there's anybody for Brewton-Parker that has a tremendous future ahead of them, it's Robbie Lever, just a sophomore.
Leary is really keeping their team together tonight, and most of the points that they have is due to him and his athleticism.
Lever once again.
Nice up by Andre Cardamone.
Mazza with just the wrist move.
With just a tip, he continues to rack up the points.
12-4, Rams lead by 8. Over the line, and another error from Jonathan Russell. Really, that's been the story for this young Barons team, just a first-year program for Brewton-Parker. Lucas Leder checking in, Frankie and Fury off. Waddell with a point, and he has been frustrated in this one, and finally for the Barons, he connects on the outside. 13-5, Rams up by 8.
And Andre sends that ball all the way over. No chance to set up a kill on our side.
Back set, Mazza. Mercado, Lever with too much, and it was just a tad bit too low. The block was there anyway for the Rams. Up 14-5 now. Rams en route to a quick one here. Curry comes back into the game here. The middle, and Cardamone goes off. Libero now is Matthew Mazza serve.
Gets the serve alive. Usually Rico Yanez is brought in for that. Yanez already on the floor. Waddell sails high. Jumps up by 10.
Mosley usually doesn't serve back row, but Ray Vance definitely switched up things up. We definitely do have to lead tonight. A little bit comfortable for the Rams.
Mazza returns that time. Big kill from Lever.
Goes out of the game, Cardinal back in.
Leary just with his last minute lay of that serve.
Got a side step.
Got pretty lucky with that one.
Absolutely, he was pretty confident in that just shuffle move. It's Lucas Leder.
Set right over. He definitely tricked him with that back set.
Well, you got to think that Mercado was trying to go behind him, but luckily for the Barons, Cardamom was out of system and the ball was just right on that top left corner. Serve for Diaz.
Another set to the outside.
Mercado.
Number one just sending it over.
Set. Spike from Chipperini. Point Bluefield. 17-7. Rams within 8 of just wrapping this one up. That's his 8th kill for the Brazilian.
Another bump over just to keep this set into play.
Fury once again with a hit too far to the left. (17-8), Rams still on top by 9. Set from Leder. Leary off the hand of Queen, and it just rockets off the basketball hoop.
Larry is just one of those well-rounded players that Vance can put him in anywhere and pretty much guarantee a good result from him. Like you can see, he was playing back row as libero, and there he is up front with Mazza and Chris making a statement.
Gotta say with Lever, he needs a little bit more of a supporting cast, which I'm sure he'll get as the school starts to develop that program. But Robbie Lever has been flat out tremendous for Brewton-Parker here, 18-9.
Definitely the star athlete on their side.
Leder, back set Dixon. He was just a little distracted off of that block attempt by Waddell.
Looks like that set was a little low. Chris Dixon is trying to communicate with his setter to maybe bump up the set a little bit so that ball can go over next time.
Back to Dixon once again, just trying to get away from that block attempt, Tori, and for Dixon, he's not been able to send it to the left.
That frustration is showing on his face, and he just really trying to work on the communication with the setter so he can get his hit down.
Another error once again, and Bluefield thought that one possibly could have been in. So Brewton-Parker on a bit of a rally now. They've trailed by as much as 10 in this one, and now the Rams have let it get down to a 6-point lead.
The crowd definitely disagreeing with that call.
This time Dixon sends it on the left.
Back set.
Set Leder. Swing from Leary, blocked and inbounds. Robbie Lever. So the Barons still have a large hill to climb here, down by 5 and already 2-0.
This Rams seemed that they got a little too comfortable, and now that lead is slowly slipping away.
Dixon now back up to a 6-point lead. 9 kills for Chris Dixon, the junior from Newport News High School, or Newport News, Virginia. Went to Warwick High School, actually the same high school as Michael Vick. And fresh off of that kill, a service error. Ledur popped to the air. Leary just with a tap over. Lever blocked originally by Mazza, and the Rams couldn't keep up with it. 19-15. That's a 4-point lead for Bluefield, but they are just 6 away from a 3-set sweep.
The Bears are trying to do everything they can to keep themselves in this game.
And Lever has been a big part of it, but that time shoots himself in the foot with a service error. 20-15.
Not a good time to miss a serve, especially during this last set.
Waddell was very off-balanced and just kind of shrugged it off.
His teammates seem to be trying to be cooling him down, but it's just not working. His frustration is seen all over his face.
Rams lead by 6. Lever.
Nice kill in the back row.
Straight down the pipe. So now 21-16.
And that's 10 kills for Lever tonight. Really making an impact on the Barron side.
Well, Robbie Lever in double figures, and so his team needs to try to come back and win this one in 5 sets. Set to Ciparini, blocked out of bounds. Bluefield with a point. Yanez almost had a hand on it, then whiffed at the very last second, and Bluefield is now within 3 of a win. Communication not there again. And for Aaron Waddell, you can kind of expect some frustration in your first season, but you can't really show it like that. You're going to let it get the best of you.
This is the second time Mazza is in the back row serving. Usually not something he specializes in, but he's keeping it in tonight. Sometimes players just can't do that, and that's something that he is being able to do.
23-17 after another kill from Robbie Lever. Make that number 11.
Just 2 points away from gathering another win here tonight on their home court.
Bluefield's already won 3 of their last 4. Ledur over to Ciparini. Off the block, point Rams. So now serving for match point, Lucas Ledur. Lever over the line, Bluefield wins. 25-17, they win 3 straight sets and improve to a perfect 3-0 on the season against Brewton-Parker. And Victoria, that has been probably one of the better matches we've seen out of the Rams this year.
It really has. You can tell that their confidence was a little higher. Their chemistry is working a lot better, and Rams have a great season still ahead of them this year.
So 3-0, Rams win and improve to 5-6. They will play on Saturday against Campbellsville. Unfortunately, that game will not be broadcasted, but it will be right here at the Dome during the day. So for Victoria Chapman, my name is Bailey Engel, reminding you the final score from Bluefield. Rams beat the Barons 3-0.